All right, guys, I'm going to show you now how to raise an order short on BitMEX. Now, I've been in here stalking this short on XRP for a while. What can I say? I've been stalking it. Now, if we do get a setup that is actually legit here, great. If not, I'm just going to use this for an example as to how to go short on the BitMEX platform. Now what you will see is that it's got a maximum leverage of up to 50x. You'll also see XBT is the settlement that it will be settled in for your profits or loss. You'll need to have some Bitcoin available. Now first things first, what you'll need to do because of the settlement in XBT is work out how much XBT you're going to be risking per trade. And the way we do that is quite simply working out first of all, because most people know how much dollar value they've got in their portfolio, right? Whether it be US dollars, whatever dollars that it might be, but I'll show you what to do. Let's say I'm going to be risking $300 US on this trade. I just go to Bitcoin converter, whatever pops up, close enough is good enough. And you put in whatever currency it may be, so you can put in United States dollar, anything you like. I've just got the USD here. I'm going to risk $300 on this trade, which means on my piece of paper that I will have next to me, I'm going to have a few variables. I'm going to have entry equals. I'm going to have stop equals. So that will be my entry price. That will be my stop loss. Then underneath that, I will have size. So that will be the size of the contracts, the amount of contracts that I'll have on that particular position. At the top of my page, I'm going to have BTC risk. Okay, that I will write down equals in this case, because today I am risking $300 US on each trade. I'm risking 0.011 of a Bitcoin, and that's the parameters for now how I'm going to manage my risk throughout the day. If you are to trade the XBT contracts, you will need to do that each day. All right, each day you'll need to get that amount for Bitcoin that you're going to be risking on this. Secondly, what you're going to do is come across here. What I'm going to do before then is I'm going to look at my entry and my stop prices. Let's say I'm going to enter as it breaks the low of this candle. So the low of that candle is 4.9. You can see it up here. Have a look. Up here is where you see it. The highs and the lows are the two numbers you're going to need. The low of that candle is 0.4987. So my entry will be 0.4986, just a bee's winkle just below. Now, because this thing's moving higher at the moment, I'm going to go ahead and set a different stop loss because I don't really want to get filled. But as an example, I'm going to show you, I'm going to go for a stop loss of 0.5020. So somewhere up here, okay? It's not a trade that I'm actually going to take. This is an example using my order system so that you can understand what to do. For a start, now I know what I've got. I've got my entry price, I have got my stop loss, and I have got my XBT risk per trade. I now come up to this little button right here, click on that, and here we have our little risk calculator. First things first, you'll see here, long or short. I'm going to look at this as a short, so I click that across to the short side. I'm going to put in my entry price of, what did I say, 0.4986, which is written down on my piece of paper. And then I'm going to go across here and put in my stop loss, 5020. I'm going to stick with leverage 50, that is fine. And what I want to see is the XBT profit and loss in here. So I'm going to go, how many is that going to be? Okay, so to remember, the number that I'm working to is 0.011. Okay, that is to risk the $300 US. So of course I've got to be on that or less. Now, as you can see here, that is about treble the size. So I'm going to go down to, say, 12,500. 0.085. That is within my risk parameters. I'll try 15,000. And for me, that is close enough. It is my profit and loss in BTC terms, or obviously denominated in, it's BTC, but they call it XBT. It means that 0.0102 is less than my Bitcoin risk of 0.011, for which, of course, I worked out over here. So it fits everything I need. I can now, underneath where I have E equals or entry equals, then I have stop equals. Now I can write the size. The size I'm going to be writing is 15,000. All right, now I know the position size. So I've got my entry, I've got my stop loss, I've got my position size. Time to come and raise the order. So I'm going to put in this 15,000. I'm going to put in my trigger price. Oh, it actually happens to be right on it, 0.4986. Now you'll notice down here, and I've chosen stop market because I want to be filled, bang, as soon as that level is hit. I do not want to have a limit order. I want a stop market, so I'm setting an order to be filled. You've got different options in here, but for now, I'm just going to go with stop market. I'll show you the rest in just a moment. You'll see down here, close on trigger. Now you'll need to make sure you uncheck this box for getting filled. If checked, as it said, this will be a close order. Close orders only reduce your position. So what I'm saying here is if you have that box ticked, you're not going to get filled in a position. You're only going to get exited from a position that you may be in. So therefore, we untick that box. Simple Simon. We've double checked our level, our amount. We hit sell stop. Double check all of these numbers and whatnot to make sure everything works. We're happy with all of that. We now come down here and hit sell. Boom, our order is submitted. That is now our trigger order to go short. Now what we need to do is go ahead and put a stop loss level in. And we're going to go across here, keep it the same, stop market, no problem. The position size is going to be exactly the same because all we want to be doing is saying if we get filled in this trade and it goes against us, we want to get out, and the level that we want to get out at is 5020. Now obviously this will then show, because it is a higher price, it will immediately bring up this green button. Now because this is to exit the position, I only want this order to trigger if I have been already filled in my short position. So the only time this order would work would be if I have been filled. What I need to do to make sure that this is the case is click close on trigger, meaning that it will close a position that I'm already in. Now if I didn't click close on trigger, I would effectively have an order short and an order long. That's it. I don't want to be long at all. I want to have a exit order in for a stop loss on my short only if I am already in the position. So I click close on trigger. Once I've done that, I hit this button here. It brings me up all my details, which I double check, of course. I hit buy. My stop now gets placed in the market as well. And as I said, this is just as an example. Now, what I do next is I want to make sure I have a take profit order in. Now we know the difference between these two zones, so I can just go into here and type in calc, which is going to give me a calculator. What was my entry? So I'll put my stop loss, 0.05020, take 0, oh no, that didn't do what I asked it to do, did it? Let me try that again. 0.5020, take away 0.4986 equals, okay, so that is my trade risk, 0.0034. That means that is the difference between my entry and my stop loss. It's as simple as that. Okay, so now that I've got that number and I've written that down on my piece of paper, I go to my entry price, which of course was 0.4986. So you're just putting in your entry price, and then you're going to, because we're going short, we're going to deduct the difference between our entry and our stop loss, 0.0034. So that now tells me that my first target, or as I would write on my piece of paper, T1 equals, is going to be 0.4952. Now I would do it a little bit more than that just to try and account for the fees. So I'm going to go 0.4945, let's just say. Okay, so a little bit more so I can fill out those fees. Now we know the size of the position. The position is 15,000, so we're going to go half of that for a one-to-one target is going to be 7,500. Now what you'll watch is this. In the stop market option, we're going to hit the down box and we're going to go take profit market, not limit. I want market. I want it to fill me immediately as soon as it hits it. If it's a limit, it might hit that price, but there's not enough in the order book to fill it all at that level and I won't get filled. So I want to hit take profit market. The position size, as you can see, is 7,500, which is what we suggested. The target level that I just spoke of after creating the one-to-one is 4945, which, as I said, was purely there simply to add a little bit more on top with fees. Once I've done all of that, we have close on trigger once again, so it's closing a position that we are already in. We hit this in place, hit our buy, hit place stop, and there we have a trade submitted, our orders in with a one-to-one first target also in there. All positions, all your orders will come into this bottom section down here, as you can see. And if you decide to do so, if you happen to be in a position, if it doesn't trigger and you go, I don't want to be in this, or I want to cancel that order, very simply, just come to this one here. That will click all your orders and they're all gone. It's a fairly simple process. There are a number of steps to it, but don't forget, it seems like a lot more because I talked you through it all. I will give you a cheat sheet as to exactly what to do so you can go through this, monitor your trades, set your trades up, raise your orders and manage your risks completely correctly. And once you've done it a few times, it becomes absolutely second nature. You will not have an issue at all. And that is how you go short on the BitMEX platform.